At Cummins, innovation is in our DNA, and we have a history of industry-changing breakthroughs. Now, as we fight climate change and embark on a zero-emission future, we are on the verge of our next big breakthrough. Join us on March 8th and witness history in the making. Find out more at cummins.tech/nextbreakthrough.
Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor. The Daily Compliance News for March 7, 2023, the AIM Higher Edition. And our lead story comes to us today from the Financial Times in the opinion section, where Pelly Hollinger says that regulators need to aim higher in their settlements and enforcement for corruption across the globe. She pointed to Indonesia, which significantly assisted the investigation of Airbus, yet received no proceeds from the Airbus settlement. And now, having gone through that experience with the UK Serious Fraud Office, it contributed to another investigation of kickbacks to its state-owned airline Guarda. Rather, it feels like under the Bombardier investigation now, it should receive proceeds. So, not surprising that this has occurred, and many are now pointing to transparency as an important step for confiscated funds. Next up from The Guardian, it points out that there is trouble in paradise and that the countries of the Caribbean are now much worse in the corruption perception score and much worse around corruption than the region was just a few years ago. Clearly, the Caribbean region is rife with corruption. That's really no surprise to anyone who has watched them over the past several years, but they're going to have to clean up their act pretty quickly. Next story comes to us from Reuters, and it's about the trial of ex-Fox executives from the FIFA corruption case, and the lawyers for the defendants claim that the government star witness lied and made the whole thing up. Of course, all the forensic and other evidence which supports him they disregard. But the most interesting comment came from the co-defendant in the group, Full Play Group SA, who is accused of bribing soccer officials. The Argentina sports marketing company's lawyers have argued that bribery is an entrenched part of doing business in South America and is therefore not fraudulent activity. So I don't even have a dog in terms of the dog bite defenses. Pretty gutsy move. And our final story comes to us from the BBC, which is Zoom has fired its president without cause. One wonders if they have sufficiently met the new McDonald's standard as articulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission for firing someone after less than a year without cause and what that might mean. I hope they don't have to change that. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.